Welcome to our Thursday night live stream.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy ketos.
Welcome back to the channel. Let me know if you can hear me. We were just doing some testing. It looked like everybody could hear us in the test stream we were doing. And so just let us know in the chat. Yeah, I saw John said early live stream today. Sorry about the early live stream, but we're here in Elkhart at the 2025 Lyons RV National Rally, and we're missing dinner.
Right, we're skipping dinner.
It was really important to us to have a live stream, but it's 7 o'clock. They're doing
casino
night and bingo night.
Rock and roll bingo.
Not with our money. It's like they give you like cashier. It's really a fundraiser.
The best casino night is with someone else's money.
So you can buy in like if you run out of money, but it's all really a fundraiser for a charity that some of the Alliance owners have started called Family Cares, and it's to benefit. It gives kids scholarships. What else? Boys and Girls Club, different things
Humane
like that.
Society.
Humane Society.
There's some veterans organizations that's here in Elkhart. We gave out 2 scholarships, so we were tickled. I was part of the dunk tank experience. I can't wait for you guys to see that when we put out the video from our time here, because it was cold.
Yeah.
It was
Rachel
cold.
took my place. We thought it would be funnier
and
with her.
I didn't make him sleep on the couch.
We thought it would be funnier with her than me, which it was.
Yeah.
So
I was the only girl.
Yeah.
I felt pretty special that I was like, hey, I got this.
We wanted to be able to do a live stream, so we decided let's do it early so we can still go to the evening events, and we'll just skip dinner because, hey, we're keto. So we're okay if we don't eat dinner for a little while and maybe eat a little bit later on anyway.
It's been really fun and honestly, like, just kind of grounding us, helping us to remember when people get started, because we're talking to a lot of people who are just like wrapping their mind around the thought of eating differently.
Yep.
One conversation that I had was from somebody who was newly retired, just started, RVing. This was kind of like what they wanted to do after they retired. And they said quickly they found out, even though they were like, we didn't eat perfectly before, but very quickly into retirement, they started thinking, we cannot believe that we are on perpetual vacation. Because what happens when you're on vacation, sometimes you tend to just let proper eating habits go out the door, drink too much, spend too much money. So they were like, we need to recenter our thoughts, change some of our mindset about retirement and what that looks like even within RVing. And they're like, this is the perfect time for us to consider eating a different way. And so it's been really nice for us to be here and give people a visual and live time about how do we make it work.
And it's been really cool because, so if you didn't know, if you're only on our keto channel, we also have an RVing channel. And one of the reasons we started the RV channel is we're doing keto. We realized that we're still living on a couch, that hence living beyond a couch, like live life beyond a couch, right? And so we got into camping, and we tried camping, doesn't work well in Florida with tent camping, too hot, too wet, right? So we get into RVing, and we quickly realized in RVing that a lot of people take their RV out, they're going to these amazing places, and then they never leave their campsite because they're not healthy.
Right.
So we were like, well, what if we could show the RV community that you could eat all the cool foods like you would eat camping, like burgers, hot dogs, bacon, that kind of stuff, right? And still be healthy and enjoy more while you're exploring this country. And so we tried to mesh the two worlds, right? Well, I had a gentleman come up to me yesterday. We had like a little meetup here and said, you guys saved my life because I was an RVer and I found you guys, and then we started doing keto, and my doctor said I was on death's door. And so I started eating a ketogenic lifestyle. And then when I went back to the doctor was like, what are you doing?
Things are
and
changing.
He's like, I'm doing this. And he's like, keep doing it, because all of his blood levels improved. And so it really warms our heart when we hear those kind of stories. We actually just had a couple over here. It was funny. They did bourbon tasting the other night.
Yes.
And she walked up to me. She's like, I hear that when you have a sip of this, that could affect your ketones for 24 hours. I'm like, oh, she watches our channel.
Yeah.
And then they just came over. I was talking about battery stuff. And again, we were talking about health and exploring and things like that. So it's kind of cool to see the two worlds mesh.
And I just want to thank everyone who has supported us. I'm talking to you guys, the meatheads, like that have helped support us every month. You put gas in our tank so that we could come here and that we could reach more people that need to get healthy.
Yeah.
Right? Like just to reach people. And sometimes it's best to be a face-to-face situation where you can answer questions and you can have those conversations. And these are people that may not stumble upon Dr. Berry. They're not even thinking that they need to get healthy. You know, so we kind of bring up the conversation, and it's been awesome talking about electrolytes. We were, you know, sending that couple away with the new blue slushy salty, you know, just so many good conversations. And that kind of like fireside RVing pace allows you to have more of those conversations.
So anyway, welcome to our channel. This is our Thursday live stream. If you're new here, Thursday live streams are just our chance to hang out with our community, answer questions about keto and carnivore. If you have a question, it could be about pretty much anything within reason. Go ahead and type the word question and then whatever your question is, or use the super chat function. We really appreciate it when you do that. That is the little $ down below in the chat window. When you use that, it helps benefit the channel, but also it highlights our screen so we don't miss your question, because sometimes the chat will kind of run fast and we'll miss questions. And so if you don't want us to miss your question, go ahead and use that. We answer as many questions as possible, whether you do super chat or not. I did see a bunch of people going, what are these crowns? So the crowns are something new that I guess YouTube is putting in the live stream chats, and it's like community engagement.
Huh.
And so what they are is they're the top 3 people who are currently in the chat. So the more active you're in the chat, the top 3 people are getting crowns.
Ooh, I like
I guess
that.
like crown number 1, crown number 2, crown number 3.
How cool.
And so it can change
based on who's involved.
based on how involved you are.
Ooh,
So the
I
more
like
active you are, the more you get a
that.
crown. And it resets in every live stream. So like if you talk a lot here and don't talk in the next one, it's I don't know, it's a silly little
fun.
feature, but it's cool.
I like that.
So, but yeah, so I saw Renee said we used to seasonal camp for many years. I want to start again. We absolutely love it. Listen, when Chris and Miriam are the ones who kind of got in Rachel's head the RVing thing.
Yeah, I was ready once they
My
described
thing
it.
is, it's not camping, okay? I was an Eagle Scout. Camping for me isn't even pitching a tent. Camping for me is going out in the woods, finding some sticks and leaves, and building your own shelter overnight.
I don't want to cook an egg on a rock.
And so that was camping for me, and it took me a while to understand that RVing is not camping. RVing is exploring. You just get to bring a really cool hotel room with you.
Right. So,
and that's why I don't want to be in hotel rooms anymore, because my RV is nicer than any hotel room I've ever been in.
And it's funny, we've talked to a lot of people while we've been here that have like this common awareness that once they started RVing, they actually had a greater love for their home state, because before RVing, you know, you sort of start RVing locally. That makes sense, right? Like, you know, because you're just kind of trying this thing out, and you just start, you know, close to home and then further and further and further. A lot of people don't start with like a cross country trip, right? You know, you may start, you know,
we did 3 years only in Florida.
And we learned so much about Florida and places we had never gone before, you know, because you could just
we're exploring.
Go to parks.
We're planning on possibly going to Texas in October.
Yes.
That'll be, if we do that, it's not confirmed yet. Be a rally for Matt's RV reviews, and then and Liquefied, but we'll be in the San Antonio area if we do that. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell button to be notified, and go join Mighty Networks, members.2krazyketos.com.
He's keto now.
But yeah, he eats a ketogenic lifestyle.
Lost
but
over
that
100
would be
pounds.
the San Antonio area, and then what we would do is maybe one day go out to dinner with any of our subscribers who may be in the area. We're possibly planning going to Quartzsite in Arizona next January. So we're starting to explore more. Let's jump into the chat here. A lot of people talk about they like the crowns. It makes them feel special.
You are special.
Carrie wants to know, is the sky blue here? Yes. It's been very weird because at like 9:30, almost 10 o'clock at night, it's still been light out. It's been very odd for us. We were talking to Kevin and Tabitha, who were on RV Unplugged with us the other day. And it was like we were just talking and talking and talking. I'm talking about arranging some kind of a rally for our keto community next year, and Tabitha's really good at that kind of stuff, so she was giving us ideas of games and stuff like that we could do. And we looked down and it was like 10 o'clock. I'm like, it's still light out.
How
it's
is
very
it?
weird.
It's so weird.
Matt said I'm still going strong and printing every day.
Yes, we have. That has been. I'm just gonna say, Matt, that has been such a fun like point of conversation with everybody. We Joe 3D printed these earrings. And so I just, we had such a long drive. I just bought like the little earring maker thingies at Walmart and just put them together while we were driving. And so as I meet somebody new, I just kind of look and say, you know, if they have a yellow lanyard, you know, it's their first rally. So I'm like, hey, you're new, I'm new too. Do you have pierced ears? And so it's been really fun to just meet somebody and give a gift. You know who's awesome at that is Evelyn. When she comes, if you've ever been to a meetup with Evelyn and she's got like, you know, she's making you a bracelet. And so we were like, well, what could we do? And I just thought that was a fun idea. And it's been really cute to see everybody wearing the, you know, blue earrings all around the campsite.
Andy said, did you get your red raspberry? I think we got it, but I don't have it.
We already
it's
gone.
Going to be in Florida. So no, we have not yet tried the red raspberry keto chow.
Not yet.
Carrie said, just another crown to cast before the
I love it. That's cute.
That's kind of funny. Crystal said, I love the new RV.
Thanks,
Thank
Crystal.
you. I absolutely love it. And again, like, just shout out to Alliance. If you're new here and you didn't know, we're brand ambassadors for Alliance. It doesn't mean they give us anything.
No.
We just get to represent them. But, you know, spending some time here, there's 370 Alliance RVs
390.
here. And so it's just a lot of people. It's like a giant 2KK meetup, but for Alliance owners.
With 900 people.
And we're having a blast, but spend a lot of time. One of the things they do for the people at the rally here is when you sign up, they tell you, like, hey, we're going to send, they close down the factory for the week, which is right down the street. And they send all their service people over here, and they said, you can pick 3 things that are wrong with your RV, things you want to fix, and we'll come fix them for free, even if you're out of warranty.
Hello, who does that?
But then they show up, and they're like, well, I found this too. I'm going to fix this for you. And I'm going to found this. And then I've had an opportunity to spend talking to some of the people who work where I met a guy today who... he's been with the company for, I think he said 4 or 5 years. I didn't even get to tell you this part. He has been working in the RV industry for 25 years. He said it was 25 years this month.
Single dad.
Single dad. He said he started when he was 19. He's 44 now.
Wow.
He's a single dad with 3 kids and also caring for his mom who has dementia. And he was telling me, I'm like, what's it like to work for the company? He was like, it is the best. He's like, first of all, they pay more than any other company. He's like, when COVID happened and things were like closing down, the owners of the company were still paying us and paying our health insurance, even though we weren't able to even come to work. And he's like, I'll have times where my kids are sick or my mom needs help, and they're like, hey, go take care of her. Like, he's like, just the culture is so different, and that's why we love this company. But just to see the extra effort has been a whole lot of fun. Plus, we're meeting a lot of cool people.
Yeah.
John said you guys gave up camping, RVing is glamping.
It's true.
I wouldn't even call it glamping. Like, for us, it's about exploring, you know? Like, I'll take my RV. I used to, like, not want to stay in any place. And, like, what we're in right now, I call it parking lot camping. It's just like, you could reach out and touch the person next to you,
we're like
right?
sardines in here.
Sorry, TMI, like, there's no having sex unless you want your neighbor to know, right?
Okay.
You're just not.
All right.
But for us, it's find a place to park and then leave.
And go do something. Don't
stay here. Go find something to do. Like, we were in Kentucky, and, like, you're in the middle of Mammoth Cave State National Park. Like, park it somewhere and then go to the national park.
Yeah.
That's what it really is.
I see Trish is here. I was thinking about you today. They're having crafts, like, every day for 2 hours. And there's somebody that teaches crafts at like this in Elkhart, like at the local senior center. And she's like, if the craft hits during the year, she just saves up those crafts that are the most popular, and then she opens it up for us to do crafts. And I was just so thankful to have an opportunity, because that's not something that we get to do, you know, at home. It's not something as much that Joe is interested in. So it's been really nice to go in the morning and just meet people and make a craft.
And again, if you have any questions, make sure you type those questions. Renee said, I tent camp again. Love that also, if you schedule next year, can we that's
Yeah.
why we're working on a place where you can do whatever you want, whether it be rent a cabin, rent a hotel, or bring an RV if you have an RV. La Quetta has a question. If I'm using keto chow to flavor home air fried pork rinds,
Yum.
what should the ratio be? What are good flavors to try first? I would just kind of dust them. I think it works really well to kind of like coat them in a little bit of butter. Best flavor that I found is the chocolate flavors, chocolate toffee, but I think they're all gonna be
Sky's
good.
the
I mean,
limit.
it's like think about flavored popcorns, you know, and just whatever you want. It was cool. We taught a bunch of people today about how to make anything keto. So there's food trucks here. And one of the things that we did, I should probably leave a link down below, but there was a presentation on something called SkyMed.
Yes.
Okay, now we travel a lot.
We do.
And so SkyMed is basically, it's like an extra little insurance. It's not super expensive. It could be like it could, well, the most expensive plan was $59 a month for a family.
Yeah.
But the whole idea of this is that if you have a medical emergency, they will evacuate you however you want. So like,
ambulance,
and they talk about the fact
jets.
that like if you have to be airlifted out, like on a helicopter, it could cost you $40,000 to go 20 miles on that helicopter, and most of the time your insurance isn't going to cover it.
Even Medicare.
You end up with these giant bills, and even if they do, they may pay $5,000 and you have a $35,000 bill.
Well, we live very rural, in a rural area. Like, it's a far trip from even our house to like a level 1 trauma center. It's like the only one on the west coast of Florida is like Tampa. Yeah. So we were like, well, what would happen if we needed, you know,
so
help?
we were listening to this presentation about how like they'll cover, like if you have to be Lear jetted out, you get to choose however you want to go out, you know, be transported. And the big thing that I think hit us was if something were to happen to me, Rachel can't drive the RV. And so the joke has always been she's just going to sell the RV. And they're like, no, we'll pay somebody to drive it home for you.
Even they will take the pets home.
Yeah. So when you went to this presentation, you got a coupon for the food trucks.
Free food truck.
So I'm like, well, I'm going to use my coupon.
We're getting
right?
something.
I sat through this presentation.
It's free.
And so we go over and they have like, what was like Chinese food,
yeah.
I think. And then there was Mexican food.
Uh-huh.
And then they had loaded fries. And it was like, so French fries, not keto, but loaded with like whatever you
all
want.
Different
jerk
types.
Chicken, things like that. So I go up to the lady and I'm like, I have an odd request. And she's like, what's that? I'm like, I would like the chicken fajita loaded fries with no fries.
No fries.
And then instead, can I pay you a little bit of extra money for double the meat? So she charged me $4 to double the meat because the meal was supposed to be $14.
Right.
She charged me $4 to double the meat, and I just had this big, giant bowl of chicken fajita meat with sour cream and onions and peppers. And then people are like, wait, what?
Are you able to eat at the food truck? That's the first thing. Because they're like, oh, wait a second, though.
You don't eat fries.
I thought that this was super restrictive. And we're like, we can make it work. And so once we got done, you know, showing them, okay, you can make it work. And they're like, you know what? I just don't even need the fries either. Yep. You know, it was.
And people started ordering it that way.
It was just
set a trend.
Nice, you know, because again, I think we make things more complicated than they need to be when someone asks us, like, how in the world do you even do this? Like, what do you eat? And they're thinking that, you know, we have to fly in rhinoceros or something like very, you know, weird and fringe. And I'm like, whatever meat you want, eat that. And then some vegetables for entertainment purposes. And they're like, that's it? That's not hard though. And I'm like, no, it's not hard. Yeah. Carrying it out is hard if you are used to eating a very highly processed, sugar-laden diet. It's hard to make that initial transition. But as far as shopping, cooking, and keeping up with it, once you do that thing, it can be easy to sustain. And in something like an RV, many people live in it full time. Space is such a commodity. They're actually relieved to find that there's not a lot of things that you have to stockpile.
Carrie said I actually went tent camping in northern Michigan on my honeymoon. Oh, the stories. My parents did that. They got married in Miami, and then their honeymoon was camping up to New York.
I remember
my mom had to go to do her internship.
Chris's parents, also Chris Bear's parents, they tent camped on their honeymoon as well.
Andrea said, I grew up camping with telling stories around a campfire, but now we're more glamping because
Yes.
we get together with friends and watch movies at night.
Not
Not
the
the
same.
same.
But that's such a beautiful thing, right? It's nice that you can kind of stay up later because even when the lights go down, you can still like watch a movie inside of your RV. Mosquitoes are never a thing. You can do this year round,
Yeah.
which is really nice. So I appreciate the spaces that camping affords, that RVing affords.
Bobby said, I live in northern Wisconsin. It stays late, way too late this time of year. I can't go to bed until my chicken's going to their hen. I know. It's like,
Totally
it's
hear
been
that.
very odd because, I mean, it stays dark, it stays light late in Florida, but not this late.
It's usually lately it's been 8:30, Bobby, but like not 9:30. And because we're like you, we let the chickens, roam around, and usually that's when we're like totally done for the day. When the last chicken goes in the hen house, then we just close the door behind them, like the door to their outside run. But it's so weird to think that 9:30. Excuse me, that feels like very late.
Matt said, I love making earrings for Sarah Joy. Just have to put the hardware on. Yeah, super easy.
Yeah.
Okay, Tiffany's got a great question. What recommendations do you have for someone who is transitioning to keto from carnivore? Okay. So if you're transitioning from carnivore to keto,
No, keto to carnivore.
no, carnivore from to keto from carnivore.
Oh, okay. So
they've been carnivore,
yep.
and now they want to be keto.
Okay. I like it.
So it's a pretty easy transition. You're just going to add in whatever you want, and it depends on what level of carnivore were you before. Were you only eating meat? Were you allowing yourself sweeteners? Were you allowing yourself dairy? I mean, dairy is carnivore, but you do get some ridiculous people like, no, dairy's not carnivore. No, it is carnivore. Right. It comes from an animal.
Hello.
Right? It's an animal food product. But it depends on where you were. The biggest thing I'm going to tell you is, first of all, I think the most important thing is to say that you are not a failure because you don't want to do carnivore anymore, and that it is okay to not be carnivore.
No guilt or weirdness when you're making your plate. You're like, is anybody looking over my shoulder to see that I am putting a vegetable on this thing?
I say that because you get a lot of people that feel like, well, I failed at carnivore. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
For most people, it's not sustainable. For some people, it is. But that's okay. The most important thing is to eat an eating lifestyle that is somewhere in the proper human diet spectrum that is sustainable for you. For some people, that is only ever eating meat. For other people, that's meat and vegetables. For other people, that is incorporating a couple of other things and sweeteners and things like that. For some other people, it's eating more on a paleo lifestyle or a Mediterranean lifestyle where they're eating some vegetables or some fruits and things like that.
Sure.
If you don't know, the proper human diet isn't just keto or carnivore. The proper human diet, as Dr. Berry has a great explanation, is it is eating a whole foods diet that is generally low in carbohydrates and low being 100 total carbs or less completely, and where you need to be on that is dependent on where your metabolic health is. So first get past that. After that, if you have been eating strictly meat and not vegetables, I'm going to tell you to do it slowly.
Yeah.
Don't go from eating only steaks to eating bowls and bowls of broccoli. What's going to happen is just like any time you switch something, and think about when you switched from standard American diet to carnivore and you maybe went through some withdrawals. Well, you end up kind of in other areas where if you start eating a bunch of vegetables, you may get some bloat. That doesn't mean your body doesn't like vegetables.
Just not used to it.
It means it's not used to it. So what you want to do is kind of do it slowly, But the biggest thing is be okay. I will also encourage you to stick to as whole food of a diet as possible, especially in the beginning. If you've never had sweeteners, take it easy. Number one, they're going to be really intense on your taste buds. You're not going to need much sweetener. And again, depending on the sweeteners, like if you use erythritol, it may cause some bathroom pyrotechnics.
Yeah, I would definitely, my advice would be to start slowly. So, and like you're saying, don't just come to the conclusion immediately that if you have gas or you have, like your bathroom frequency changes a little bit as you're starting to incorporate some more things that you're like, I'm allergic to that thing. You're not allergic to it. It's just you're getting used to it. I remember the first time we started incorporating MCT oil into our life when we first got started, and it was like, oh my gosh, like obviously my body can never handle an 18th of a teaspoon of MCT oil, right? It was just, we hadn't been around it before.
Yeah. Crystal said it's hard to sleep with it being light out. Yeah, I would agree. And then Trish said, that's the problem I'm having in the morning. My bladder gets up before 6 a.m., but the rest of me is allowed to wait until 8 most days. The sun doesn't help me get back to sleep.
My mom is having that problem too. Like, super frustrating.
Matt said you have better weather up there than we're having down here. We are dealing with daily thunderstorms. I mean, listen, I'm not there, but I'm going to say I'm glad for the thunderstorms because when we left, our chickens could walk across the
We
pond.
have this much water in the ponds. I was starting to freak out. So hopefully, maybe it'll just, you know what? Maybe it'll just localize over our pond and just fill up there.
It's been chilly here. We've been wearing sweatshirts every day. And you can see I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt. This is probably the warmest day. It has been chilly. What's going to stink is 80s. Going back home. So we're getting right now, like, accustomed to, it's been in the 60s, I think right now it's 70 degrees outside. The problem is we're going to go home. It's going to be 100 degrees. We're going to set the AC to where we normally set it. And it's going to be like 76. And we're going to go,
dissatisfied.
It is so hot because we're used to 60. And I'm not going to lower it below the 70-something degrees because I can't afford $500 electric bills, which we had last month.
I think that this is going to be a big attitude. This is an opportunity for us to just maintain a good attitude. I'm really trying, if I'm going to try to get rid of anything over the next like month, especially since we're having this beautiful time and we have this special time with, like, you know, people that we're getting to meet. We're going to go to Alaska, baby, on a, you know,
14
cruise.
days.
So is there always something that you could notice and be like, I am dissatisfied with that thing? This thing is, I'm not happy right now. Right. I'm not perfectly happy right now is probably a better way of putting it. But I'm really making a concerted effort, and the air conditioning's the thing too, to be like, okay, be thankful for what you can be thankful for. Because I am definitely prone to, I'm not happy anymore because it's not as cool as it was when we were, you know, in Indiana. And I don't want to be that person.
Jennifer said, my son just got a new to him Jeep. It came with a couple of ducks.
Aww.
Yeah, the Jeeps are big into the duck. And my grand beauty insisted my little alligator was needed instead.
Yay! Oh, I love that so much. We have, thanks to Tara D, we've got like quite a cute, I don't know if you can, I'll go this way. You can see the ducks behind there, things that like she hid all over our house when she came to visit.
I don't know if Terry's in the chat, but here's the thing, if
Amazing.
She's not. Don't invite Terry to your house unless you want to be bombarded with ducks.
Yes, she is such a good duck hider.
Good at, like, we were still finding ducks at the house 2 weeks after.
I did not even notice that she had pockets on her pants or that she had a bag with her. And she was so good. We have laughed so hard. I felt like kids again for like the week after like she visited, because
obviously I'm teasing, but we
would go to get like the paper towel, like change a paper towel, and behind the paper towel, like I don't even know how she did it. It was amazing. It was so awesome.
Angie wants to know, how's mommy doing?
She is doing so well, thank you. She actually yesterday had a doctor's appointment and went and checked, and the AFib surgery worked. She is no longer out of rhythm. Praise the Lord. We're so thankful, and thank you so much for all of your prayers and continued prayers for her recovery. As you can imagine, I am breathing so much more deeply. I don't think I exhaled until she was out of surgery. Yeah. And so now she's doing so good. So thank you so much.
Trish said Bob and I share hobbies. We go out for a cup of coffee or a library, and he does his ham stuff while I draw.
That's love it.
Cool. Crystal said I liked the URL on earlier. You know, it's something to think about. Mm-hmm. Like, so maybe we'll put a thing out on Mighty Networks. I would love to do it a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
So that people can stay on, but also so that we can kind of get to bed at a more reasonable hour. One of the reasons we always did 8:30 is because I would be doing lacrosse games or football games, and I was trying to get home, but I'm really not doing football anymore. It's not lacrosse season. And then when I just started doing what lacrosse season anyway, was blocking out Thursdays. So maybe we will consider moving it up, but we'd have to find a good time. I would love to do it a little bit earlier than 8:30. But I also want to make sure we can hit everybody on the coast. One of the reasons we chose 8:30, figuring is that people on the West Coast would be home from work or you
On
know,
the way
that
home.
kind of thing. And so I don't want to do it when people on the West Coast can't do. But if enough people say like, hey, I would much rather be a
Yeah.
little bit early, that would be a good
Let
thing.
us know.
Trish said we buy a yearly travel insurance package from Allianz for that reason.
Yes.
We don't need a $50,000 flight bill. So we
Seriously.
have Allianz, and so that is the one thing that I was talking to them about.
We asked him, would it go with
Does
that?
it work with it? Because even Allianz, it's like the difference between this and that. This is only covering your transportation. It doesn't. It's not overall insurance. It's transportation. So let's say Allianz says like, you know, we're only gonna cover $10,000 of that flight off of the ship. They would pick up the rest.
Mm-hmm.
They'll pick up the rest. And also, this one is your choice. So Allianz or your home insurance may say
Closest hospital.
well, no, they may say you can only go to close hospital, but they may say like we're gonna put you in an ambulance, and you can go no. I want to go in a helicopter because it's faster. This company allows you to do that, and it's not a prepay. They take care of it. They handle it. It's not like you have to get reimbursed or anything like that. It's just something that, you know, we're thinking about because of the amount of travel we do in covering that kind of stuff. Because again, they were talking about one guy went to Alaska and broke all his ribs and had a punctured lung, and they needed to get him out, but
he couldn't fly.
They couldn't fly because he had a punctured lung. So this company put him on a cruise ship
and cruised him back to California where he lived.
to California. So, you know, and again, it's not super expensive, but so this is only covering transportation because a lot of times, like Medicare will barely, if at all, cover like a flight line. And if they do, it's a very small amount.
Well, and I was chatting with a lady who RV'd with like another couple, and the gentleman in the other couple had like a pre-existing condition. He actually had cancer, and so he needed to utilize this service when they were actually out camping all together. And so they were going to take him to the nearest like trauma center hospital. And so and he did not want to go to that, even though it was a perfectly great hospital. He wanted to be flown home to his home state because he wanted his doctors to see him.
Plus he knew he was dying.
And they did that. They were able to fly him home and also fly his wife home. And then they also provided for
they flew somebody up to pick up the RV and covered all the expenses.
And it covered all the expenses to take their RV home as well. So I thought that was amazing.
John said it's an awesome idea, loaded with fries. Yeah, Rachel was on a different line. And then I come over with my food, and you know, I'm like, she's like, what did you get? And I'm like, loaded fries with no fries and double the meat. And she's like, I'm getting that.
Well, before you start patting yourself on the back to the point of breakage, I actually got the same thing yesterday. It was at a different
But you didn't think about the double meat.
I did not think about double meats. So I will give you complete props for double meat. But I went to, it was like hey fries, they were calling it. And it was more of like a Mexican spin on it with like avocado, and it had lettuce, and it was like chorizo and steak. And so I got that one yesterday.
Matt said key is only restrictive if you make it that way. I agree.
Sure.
Trish said I made chicken salad from rotisserie chicken yesterday, so we'll be having that on Chuffles.
I freaking love chicken salad. Like, that is something that, no kidding, I could spin on repeat all the time.
Quiet Storm, when I first started keto, I really missed tortillas. Now I just toss all the good keto stuff in a bowl. I don't even miss the tortilla.
Yeah.
A lot of it's just what you've been conditioned to. I agree.
And I find that I have replaced some of the things that we had before with other different toppings that maybe I wouldn't have purchased. So because I'm not getting the tortilla or the chips, a lot of times, because I'm not purchasing that thing, I will pop for a variety of different, more flavorful cheeses. I will go ahead and get guacamole or make guacamole, where in the past that wouldn't be something that I would do. But I feel like I'm just shifting my focus from one thing to another. It's like I'm spending the same amount of money for taco night, but I'm just buying different extra toppings.
Crystal said we're south of where you are. We should meet on your way
Yay!
home. Send us a message if we
Yeah,
can work it out. It
we'd
just
love
depends
to.
on where we're doing. I'm hoping on when we leave on Saturday to get down to about Louisville area.
Louisville.
Let's see. Cat, I love you. This is a sign that we should never have our set the clocks forward.
It's so true. It's so true.
Uh,
I'm so proud of you for just ending it there.
Laquetta said, I honeymoon camped
Quita.
in a large wood truck, just throwing a tarp over the top of a dump bed.
You are next level woman.
Andy said, Alaska sunrise right now, sunset is 4 a.m. to 10 p.m.
So I guess maybe this is a good prep for us.
It's a good prep. That is where the benefit for Alaska would be an inside cabin. Like, we have an ocean view balcony, but that would be a huge benefit to have an inside cabin for that.
Oh yeah, then you could go to bed. Andy says I missed pot stickers. I will tell you one of the things that I had really missed, and for my birthday one year Joe made was I missed crab rangoon, and you can still make crab rangoon. It's absolutely delicious. You know, you're using real crab. We just don't use that like the fake stuff anymore. And we just use a chicken skin as is like the pot sticker thing, or like the outside wrap, and it works really, really well.
Yep. Lynn said, I think going from carnivore to keto, you should add things back one thing at a time. Do it slow so you can see if certain things bother you. Yeah.
Good idea.
And like I said, pretty much any vegetable is going to bother you.
A little bit at least.
It's not that your body doesn't like vegetables. It's that you don't have the gut biome. Like, you know, when you change your eating, your gut biome changes. And so you kind of have to build that back up. So, like, give it some time. You know, you have to, like, don't just eat broccoli and notice bloat and then say, like, oh, nope, never eaten broccoli again, I got bloated. It's, if you ate it on a regular basis, then you would. Like, you know, we love broccoli, but we tend to only eat it if we go out to eat at a restaurant, mostly because, like, vegetables at home, just half of them end up in the garbage because we don't have time to cook them.
Even if you've just been eating carnivore and you reintroduce iceberg lettuce, that is not something that's going to necessarily bloat you as badly as like if you eat, you know, onions and green peppers and, you know, like something like broccoli or cauliflower or something. But it is going to feel different. It's just going to feel different at the end of the day. And you may experience some like differences at bathroom time, you know, because again, it's just been a while since you've eaten it.
Yeah. Annie said, I have no problem with eggs. I can down 6 eggs, no problem. Add bacon, and that's when I have issues.
Yeah.
Renee, Joe, and Rachel, do you have a certain days, hours you schedule coaching calls? What is the best way to contact you if you feel you need it? So we're working on our website. It's kind of a mess. Basically, the entire website needs to be rebuilt from the ground up. I talked to somebody who actually the person who helped build it, and she wants to charge me a lot of money and said it's going to take her a year, which we can't wait a year to rebuild our website. So what we're going to have to try to do is when I get back home, I'm going to have to try to basically somehow rebuild our website without taking it down. I just don't know how to do it.
You can still book a coaching call right now, I believe.
I don't even know if that part is working.
Okay.
So what I'll do is later on, I will put a link, and I'll start putting a link in the description box of all of our videos and for just how to book coaching calls. We do have certain days that it allows people to schedule. It's kind of an old, based on like what our old schedule was when we lived in Fort Lauderdale. If one of those times that are there don't work, just send us a message. Like,
Joe at twoCrazyKetos.com.
Or it's better in Mighty Networks. Just send us a message or email us like, hey, I want to book a coaching call, but none of these times work, and then we can work something out with you. Also, if you do book a call, in the comments section or the notes section or like where it says like, hey, this is what I want to talk about, put who you want to talk to.
Sure.
You know, so this way it lets us know, because some people want me because I'm going to tell you, like, I'm not going to let you get away with things.
No.
Whereas some people, like, I will a lot of times say, like, you really need Rachel because Rachel can handle more of the emotional. You know, like, I can help with emotional stuff, but Rachel can sometimes deal more on that side of, like, why we are doing things based on our emotions and stress and stuff like that.
But our feelings are never hurt if you pick one over the other. I mean, there's been plenty of people that are like, are you offended if someone doesn't pick you? But so, whoever you feel most comfortable with.
Yeah, that's the key.
Oh, thank you, Nikki.
Nikki, thanks for the $1.99 super chat. Said,
Thank
God bless you.
you.
Hashtag 2KK. John, thanks for the $2 super chat. Said, don't care standard or daylight saving time. Just lock the clock.
Lock the clock, baby. Just lock it. Lock it down. Oh, Mama Chris.
Mama Chris is here. Said, hey, Joe and
Miss you
Rachel, I miss and love y'all.
guys.
Hello to all my keto peeps. Gonna
Mama,
definitely miss you this year.
Mama Chris, are you going on the Alaska cruise? Because Autumn and Richard are going to be there. And I was hoping, I was like, whoa, wait. I was just thinking about this, like, I think it was last week. I was like, I wonder if Mama Chris is going to Alaska too. Let us know if you are.
Jennifer said, my family would be so disappointed if I went back to mac and cheese instead of my carnivore no mac and cheese. But they are overall drifting to carnivore. I've spoiled them.
It's hard.
Oh my gosh! At the
So
Indiana
delicious.
meetup, Jennifer made the most. What does she call it?
It was the chicken.
It's in the carnivore no mac and cheese.
With
It was so good.
Ugh.
She sent me like how she does it. Definitely going to be making that.
Yes.
I took all of the leftovers. It did not go to waste.
We're sorry though if we took more than our share.
I let everybody else have all the leftovers first. I didn't even take leftover meat. Just that carnivore.
You just wanted it.
It was so good. It did not go to waste.
It did not. Although it did provide a little bit of a fight over like who gets how much share of the leftovers.
Angie said it has been chilly here in Indiana. Yeah, it definitely has been.
It really has.
Renee said I'd rather be in Florida instead of Ohio. Hey, from what I've seen, it's been 100 degrees by our house. I wouldn't speak.
You may not want it. The mayflies have come in off of Lake Erie. Okay, now we're talking. I will say though that it's love bug season on top of stuff. So yeah, like it's buggy. It is very buggy.
Pat said I was driving and missed something you said. Did you say you were at Mammoth Cave? No, so we were on the way up. We stopped at a Thousand Trails campground, and it happened to be inside of Mammoth Caves National Park. The problem is that when I plan these trips, I kind of like I know when I want to be there, and everything is planned based on that. And so we end up in places and be like, oh, that looks really cool, but we have no time to do it.
Gotta schedule some more rest.
And so the next time we come up here, which is probably later on this year, not sure when yet, I'm going to actually plan an extra day or so to stop at that campground now that we found that campground so that we can go to Mammoth Caves. Because it looked really cool, but like we pulled in at like what? 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we were leaving the next morning at 8 a.m. So we didn't have time to explore it, but I want to.
Mary!
John said, I can't use fresh blueberries. I will eat them all. Frozen, I can limit to a handful. It's a good idea.
See, it's like you know that about yourself.
Yeah, Mary said, Terry is sure stealthy in her duck hiding. Such a fun
And it's
person.
so funny. So like that is all of the decorations in our RV are just ducks. Like that's it. Because there's limited space. Space is such a commodity. I've got like our 2 avocados up at the top from the Franklin family, and I have like a bunch of ducks, and then I actually have like in my side desk, I have the 2 rabbits that Kelly and Haley had got me, and there's a glass cross from Trish that's on my side. That's all the decorations in our house.
Mel said earlier is great for me. Your normal time is right in the middle of my homeschool.
Okay.
But then you have Kat saying we always get left out on the West Coast, which is why we'd always chosen 8:30. Miriam says the Alliance rally over. No, so we have tomorrow, and then most people will go home on Saturday
morning.
Right now it's dinner time, so tonight dinner is provided every night. So Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, they provide dinner. They provide breakfast. So yesterday they had eggs and sausage and pastries. Today was just continental breakfast. We were sleeping in a little bit because I didn't want to go to the continent. It's just pastries and bagels and stuff. And then they were working on the RV.
So we had to kind of stick around.
It was like little things that we found, like little cosmetic issues and stuff like that. And, they were doing some other stuff for us. So, but tonight was potlucks. Everybody was making different meals. It was Hawaiian themed too. But we wanted to do the live stream, so we just decided to skip dinner and do the live stream.
We're good.
So yeah, it'll end tomorrow night with a big dinner. You guys definitely need to come next year, Miriam.
Yes, you would love it. We have been sharing salty.
Yes, we have shared a lot of salty. A lot of people saying they were here. Jennifer said my stepdaughter was airlifted after an accident when 2.
Wow.
And then a helicopter searched the river to find my husband canoeing and flew him to the hospital to be with her.
Oh my gracious. What a harrowing experience.
Adriana, please advise with good quality pots, ceramic preferred or non-stick. Okay, so I can speak from my new experience. So I have tried a lot of ceramic and never was able to find anything I liked. For me, I've always cooked with Teflon. One of the things I like about Teflon is it's nice and smooth. And when it's good Teflon, like nothing stuck, but it quickly scratches off. The problem with Teflon is it puts a lot of stuff in your food, toxins. We really don't want to eat that. So I've been looking for good ceramic. And Miriam told us about Caraway.
Hello.
And
gorgeous.
So I've tried to become an affiliate with them. They're not interested, to be honest. So, but we tried the pots. We really like them. I mean, I'm able to cook eggs with that, and you don't even have to put butter in it. And because it's a smooth surface, a lot of the ceramic are textured on the bottom, so you can't get a nice clean egg unless you just load it up with oil and butter. And even then, like scrambled eggs still get caught in all the grooves. And so Miriam told us about the Caraway, and so we tried that, and then I liked it so much that we actually got the bakeware too. And I cannot speak highly enough about it.
It is amazing.
I will say it's expensive.
But I feel like it really is an investment on something that you're going to use,
but it's not
every day
the
forever.
most expensive.
Yeah.
Like we paid more money for a Le Creuset Teflon pans than these pans cost. These ones also have 2 different colors. Some colors are more expensive than other colors. But for me, I agree with Chris. Like, it should be a write-off because
I think it should be a
health
medical device.
I would rather spend a decent amount of money or more money on a good set of cookware, because I have been the person who, like, you know, Rachel, we're like, well, I don't want to spend more than $25 on a pan, but then every year you got to replace that pan.
Right.
Because the Teflon or the ceramic stops sticking, and in the end I end up paying more money. So I'd rather pay a little bit more money up front, and also if it helps me cook better and not ruin my food, I'm good with that.
Well, I feel like the proof that's in the pudding is I can also cook an egg with nothing if I don't want to use it, and it comes out great every time. So it's not that just because you're not a great cook, I'm not a great cook. And the fact that I can enjoy good stuff every time is pretty awesome.
When we get home, maybe we'll do a video about them. Again, we don't make any money. We're not sponsored by them. But the customer service has been great. The shipping was great. Again, it's called Caraway, Caraway. But also, they come with these really cool organizers. Like, if you're worried about, like, stacking, like, all of the baking pans came with, like, these nice organizers where everyone goes in a spot. The pots and the pans all come with this nice to vertically organize it in your cabinet so nothing's stacked on top of each other.
Beautiful.
And I did watch a lot of review videos on them. Aaron said, meet Chris waiting in my dehydrator at home.
Yeah.
$4.99 for 10 steakums at Aldi.
Holy crap. That's a great deal.
Let's see.
Liz is here. Hey, Tam.
Suzanne, hey 2KK, I'm just finishing up at work and listening, but I wanted to say hi to everyone.
Hi, Suzanne.
People saying, Nikki said chicken salad is so good. I love chicken salad.
I cannot wait to see Lolo in Alaska. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have such a good time. Make sure you're also bringing your bathing suits to Alaska, because there are indoor pools as well. So no matter how cold it is, there is an indoor pool, and then there's also the adult only like indoor pool in the solarium. So there's plenty of places to swim. You're gonna find me probably in the hot tub.
We go to the solarium. That's where we go.
That's where
no kids.
If you're looking for us, like where is Rachel and Joe? Check the pool, check the hot tub in the solarium.
I will say, if you watch Matt from RoyalCaribbeanVlog.com, if you watch his videos about the ship,
yes,
and he talks about the solarium, and it's like 16 and over. They've changed it. It's actually 18 and over. So no kids allowed. The kids can walk through if they're going somewhere, but
Right.
they can't go in the pool. They can't hang out
There's
there.
a little
And
restaurant.
that's why we go there.
Oh, Chris is not going
Not
on the
going
cruise.
on the cruise.
Watching the spoiled dog. Well, you know what? The doggy, your grandpuppy is probably not going to want Autumn and Richard back, right? Because once you've been with grandma, I mean, you know that dog is going to have such a big time.
Pat said, "Oh man, I would have hunted you down for
Aw.
a hug. Let me know when you will be here. Come bowl at my son's bowling alley."
Oh, that would be so fun. I would love that.
Let's see. Nikki said, "I want a camper van and maybe I can meet you at 2KK somewhere in Florida."
We would love that. I was just talking to somebody that they had, it's interesting the different like changes. A lot of people, the one thing we've learned about RVs is it's whatever you start out at, you probably won't end up in.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to a couple and they have done, it was like tent, pop up. They did the van for a little bit. They did like a class C for a little while. They had a class A for a little while, and now they have a fifth wheel. So it's just funny how you do different things.
Adele said, "I've been using Caraway for 2 years. I love it." That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Again, we've only had it for
a short amount of time.
Right? Mid-April is when we got it.
Yeah.
And when it came, I would not let Rachel open it until I got home from Texas. It showed up when I was in Texas.
Yeah.
And so we didn't really open it up until a couple weeks ago.
The bakeware was excellent.
I love. No, and I've been using the pans to make eggs and stuff like that. The last couple of cooking recipes we used it. Renee said, "Good cookware is a good investment." Yes.
Yeah, because you're going to use it all the time.
John said, "I love potluck. I bring a massive pork butt. It always disappears. One time I took 2KK burger casserole. It went so fast I almost didn't get it."
I love to hear that. That was what we were planning on making to bring to the potluck, but then we're like, you know what? We're going to have our live stream.
Craft Crazy said, "Have you tried Squarespace for the website? I have no experience with it. I've just seen it as a sponsor on other YouTubers." That's one of the ones I'm looking into. The person who I talked to recommended me looking into Shopify. But they said it could get very expensive, like as much as $300 a month. And I'm going to be honest, we don't have $300 a month to run a website.
No.
Part of the problem is the hosting company I'm working with, that we have our site with, I paid for 3 years, and that cost me like $1,500. That's just to like host our site, and that was like a 70% off deal. So, like, I hate to waste. I have 1 year left. I hate to waste that and have to go pay somewhere else when I've already paid for the year, but the site just doesn't run anymore. WordPress has just gotten screwed up. There've been all these updates, and I guess somebody tried to hack it. So there's thousands of attempted logins. That's why it just needs to be wiped clean. But again, I can't afford $300 a month for a Shopify site, and we gotta find the time to build it. Jennifer said, "My cooking improved exponentially when I bought good cookware."
It does
make
a
huge
difference. It really does. And, we were talking to people at the Indiana meetup. We had such a good time at that meetup. But people were talking about how, you never considered yourself maybe like an excellent cook, but like once you decided to pursue keto and even carnivore in some, ways, you had to kind of figure out how to cook meat. Yeah. And so you put all your energy into getting better at doing that thing. And now people were sharing that they're kind of like, Joe, it's hard for us to even go and put down good money for like a barbecue restaurant, because you're like, man, if this is so-and-so, dollars a pound, I know that I can make this for way cheaper, and I believe it would taste way better because you've had experience cooking.
We haven't even gone to smoking fatties. Like I said I was going to go.
Yeah, we haven't gone.
Had time. The only place we've gone out to eat here was we went to Hall's Kitchen for that pizza bowl, which was amazing.
Highly recommend.
Liz said we want to go on a 2KK cruise. I hope you guys have a blast. That would be awesome. Heather said, "I'm new here and I'm new to keto." Well, welcome.
Welcome.
I'm going to recommend go join our free community, members.2krazyketos.com, where you can get a bunch of support.
We'd love to get to visit with you.
Andy said, "No kids is right. Solarium, we had the best conversation."
So let us know, though, like once you get into, Mighty Networks, if you need us, you can like direct message us in Mighty Networks and just, if you have any questions about anything, we can help in any way. Robin F., ear hustling while I sit in traffic on my way home from work. Well, I hope you have a safe trip home.
Marty said, "Hey, you two, just telling you hi. Did
Hi,
Alaska
Marty.
This past winter. Loved it." Yeah, we did Alaska in September for Rachel and Miriam's birthdays. And it's pretty much the same exact trip we're doing this one, just different ship. So really looking forward to it. Jim said, what airline are you guys flying to Seattle on? We're flying on Delta. We're doing this very uniquely. We are going to probably park in, why can't I think? We're at Rachel's mom's house.
Oh, okay. You're going to Winter Haven.
We're going to park in Winter Haven, fly out of Orlando, and then back into Tampa. That's the plan.
This should be unique.
It should be. But, so, listen, I used every point that I had so that we can fly first class on Delta.
This is a long flight.
But the problem is the flight from Orlando was fine, but the flight coming home wasn't leaving Seattle till midnight, and I didn't want to fly on that flight. Whereas the flight going into Tampa leaves at like noon. And so I'm like, that's the one I want to do. And also, it was the only way I had enough points. Without that, if I flew out of one and into the other, I didn't have enough points.
Yeah. Andrew's like, it's Thursday already? I know, right? The weeks are just flying by.
Andy said, waiting for the egg bread to come out of the oven, pistachio flavor, and then going on a post-dinner walk. Susan is walking again.
How nice. That is a great win. Is there a private community for health and support?
members.twocrazyketos.com. It is free. Now when you go sign up, you got to sign up on the website. Don't use the app first, so use it on the website. You can go to like Safari or Google on your phone and sign up. But there is an app, but you can't sign up through the app because then we have to charge more money.
Right.
But there is a free. Most of the stuff is in the free community. Okay. If you want to support us financially, it's $5, $10, or $25, and that's and you get extra stuff. But 95% of the stuff is in the free community because we are all about community, and you'll get support from us, support from everybody else. And so members.twocrazyketos.com.
Every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern, we do have a live stream in the Meatheads group if you wish to support us, and we take a different topic every single week, and basically I like to provide some sort of a presentation on that topic. We've broken down just protein, we've talked about just carbohydrates, we've talked about like just fat, like how much do you need, like, how do you adjust things for yourself. This past week we talked about the summer diet, like a diet break during summer. So just a lot of interesting topics, and every week is different. So if you think that might help you, maybe worth it to join the Meatheads group.
Listen, I have the issue where I can make the best ribeye, and I don't want to pay so much money for a restaurant at a subpar steak.
So true.
Dustin said we're going to the theater to see the new Lilo and Stitch. Dustin Keto Simple, by the way, put out a very good investigative video. I'm glad, because I've thought about doing it, but then I never did it, about formula, baby formula.
Yes.
Go watch it. I will say Dustin did a great job with it, better than me, because I would have slammed the baby industry, and he just gave you the facts.
Right, without any...
So, like, he was so much more nice and polite than me.
You didn't editorialize it.
Yeah, you did a great job, so definitely go watch that. Dustin said, do you get points for just chatting in the chat, too? You'd think I'd know. I have no idea.
This is new to us as well.
Trish said Wednesday live streams are amazing, worth every penny and more to be at Trish. Thank you very much.
Jenny is here. So good to see you.
I think we're caught up. Cool.
All right. Hey, I got my crown. I got a crown. I love that kind of stuff. That was one of the big appeals for me for Weight Watchers, and why I had kept trying to make Weight Watchers work. We even purchased Weight Watchers during keto to see if we could make it. They were saying that they were going to do like a low carb type of keto protocol. It never did work. No matter what I did, I could not get my blue dot. But that was definitely why I enjoyed Weight Watchers, because I enjoy pursuing like a little badge or a sticker or something like that. I was that kid in Sunday school that I wanted the gold star. We did buttons when we had kids ministry, right? And you could earn buttons for different things, because that's me. I just like getting the badges.
Liz wants to know how you get a crown. It's the most active people in the chat for this particular stream. John said, isn't baby formula loaded with sugar? Yes, sugar and so much more. And that's what's kind of interesting when you watch this video.
If you go into like go to Target, go to Walmart, go to the child section and pick up any random like Gerber Graduates or Pediasure, and just take a look at that ingredients. not only is it just a ton of sugar, but a lot of times the fat source is just like seed oil. So just think about giving your most precious treasure on earth, your little babies, your kids. And we did it. We did it. We would give them a combination of seed oil and sugar.
Yeah.
And that was like nutrition. And I can remember so many times because Caleb, at first was like a little bit challenging, getting to eat stuff. And what was the first thing the doctor would always say? Like, oh, you better supplement. Don't worry if they ever eat actual food. Just make sure they're getting Pediasure. So it was like, oh, okay. So I don't have to worry that he's not sitting down and eating the food that I'm preparing him. I can just give him bottles of Pediasure. Yeah, that's all you need to do. And it's like, once you really sit down and look at those ingredients, you're like, what was my kid getting? Like,
I mean,
what
again,
was he functioning
Dustin
on?
talks about it, but I don't even think he dove enough into it. Is that, like, again, he was nice. But I think this was, where it came from and formula and how it was like, it was about, oh, like breastfeeding is antiquated. We don't need to do that. But I think that there was a lot more pressure than even Dustin talked about. And now even more so, with from Big Food and from these companies. I remember my kids when they were born and how like the hospital sending you home with free stuff, and then Publix, like if you signed up for like their baby thing, they sent you a whole bunch of it. And we used to even do that like in the church, like with people who needed formula, like here's a way you can get like a bunch of it. And I think it is all just a way to push to get your kids hooked on this stuff, and so you can spend all this money, and oh, by the way, it gets them hooked on sugar as well at the same time.
Yeah.
Because they do put a bunch of sugar and seed oils
well,
in it.
and we were, broke is broke.
Yeah.
And so they would send, there was different programs, and it's just like anything. It's like Similac and Enfamil and all of these Parents' Choice and like all of these different kinds are trying to get you to treat them like the Coke and Pepsi of childhood, right? Yeah. Like, go down a line, and then you will probably most likely stay within their product line, and then they started making toddler stuff. So it wasn't just like, hey, they got you at infants, and then once your kid was like weaned off of that stuff, then there was like a new product that was like the next stage of their life. And I can remember they would send free stuff to the house, you know.
Oh,
and
it's
and for somebody who was like, we didn't have the money, we were like, oh wow, this is great.
Nikki said the reason I'm a camper is camper van because I'm not comfortable towing, and that's what they're perfect for.
It is.
Pat said every time you say crown, I cringe because I'm about to get an implant. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, just to make sure we're not missing any questions. Question, Liquido, who do we watch about the baby formula? Keto Simple.
Keto Simple.
I missed that part. Yeah, so...
And Liz says, it's as bad as Ensure, you're right, that we give our seniors. And my kid with Crohn's disease, by the way, it's full of garbage. It's also, you're right, it's like bookends of nonsense, right? It's like the birth stuff and then the senior formula, and they're very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar.
So we're going to get off because casino night started.
Casino night!
So we're going to go over and raise some money for kids.
Let's do
or
that.
Help to donate some money for
Boys
kids.
and Girls Club.
Yeah, so guys, thank you so much for joining us for our Thursday live stream. Next week we'll be back into like our regular kind of schedule. We will be having a Keto Be on the Couch on Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Like the plan is hopefully for 10 a.m. It's going to depend. We'll know more on Sunday, so we're going to be leaving here early Saturday. We're going to drive Saturday, Sunday. Depending on where we are, we're either going to postpone the live like we did on our last trip and do the live a little bit later,
when we get home,
so like, but it will. I won't know until I get a little bit further down the road. But we will have Keto Be on the Couch on Monday. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you hit the bell button so that you're notified when we make that decision of what we're gonna do. Have a good night, guys.
Love you.
Bye.